Greetings, friends and countrymen. Welcome to Conspiracy Corner News, episode 43. This is Bart Sabrell. Conspiracy Corner News briefly highlights the week's most significant and underreported news events throughout the world, focusing on the special preparation needed for the difficult times ahead. I'd like to point out, if you're watching this video here, how to access some of these buttons down here. Basically, on this video you're watching now, you would click down here on my name. This would take you to my YouTube home channel, or home page on YouTube. There's the donate button. This takes you to the Sleuth Journal Conspiracy Corner page. This takes you to buy an autographed DVD of A Funny Thing Happened on the Way to the Moon. This takes you to Sabrell.com, which has a bunch of other links, including these. And here's the Amazon link if you want to contribute a small commission to anything you buy on Amazon. Just come back and shop on Amazon through this link. And then once you get to it, you can copy and paste it to your browser and use for future use. Let's go here to the Sleuth Journal for the moment, and we're going to talk about a past article briefly. You'll see this takes you to Conspiracy Corner and the latest videos. If we go down here, our latest articles, I'm sure you're all familiar with this one about the moon landings, whether they took place or not, because they cannot be duplicated today, yet were so easily done on the first attempt with 5 decades older technology, but we'll always talk about that later. Basically, at the beginning of this article, and there'll be a link in the description of this video, and I want you to take a look and a listen to this. And notice the lower right-hand corner and the lower left-hand corner. You'll see all the major news networks, ABC, CBS, NBC, and Fox. Now, this was a clip from like a late-night talk show, and this media company, records all networks for people who want to later use them. And they cut them together. Now, even though all 4 networks are identified as allegedly being independent of one another, look how the script is exactly the same on all of them.
Who are you really shopping for this holiday season? It's okay, you can admit it, if you bought an item or 2 or 10 for yourself.
Well, it's okay, you can admit it if you have bought an item or 2 or maybe 10 for yourself.
It's okay, you can admit it. You bought an item or 2 or 10 for yourself.
It's okay, you can admit it if you bought an item or 2
ABC.
or 10 for yourself.
It's okay, you can admit it if you bought an item or 2 or 10 for yourself.
ABC.
It's okay, you can admit it. If you bought an item or 2 or 10 for yourself.
It's okay, you can admit it, Todd. If you bought an item or 2 or 10 for yourself.
It's okay, you can admit it. If you bought an item or 2 or 10 for yourself.
It's okay, you can admit it if you bought an item or 2 or maybe 10 for yourself.
It's okay, you can admit it if you bought an item or 2 for yourself.
It's okay, you can admit it if you bought 1 or 2 or maybe 3 or 4, maybe even 10 items for yourself. It's okay, you can admit it.
You see Fox over here, ABC, Fox, and now NBC. ABC, Fox, and NBC.
It's okay, you can admit it. If you bought an item or 2 or 10 for yourself. It's okay, you can admit it.
And now CBS.
If you bought an item or 2 or maybe 10 for yourself.
It's okay, you can admit it if you bought maybe an item 2 or 10 for yourself. It's okay, you can admit it. If you bought an item or 2 or 3 or 10 for yourself, it's okay, you can admit it. If you bought an item or 2 or 10 for yourself.
You basically get the point. We just saw all network logos in the lower right and left, ABC, CBS, NBC, and Fox, and they're all receiving the same scripts for what claims to be independent news. Now, when Watergate happened, that was kind of the last time the media did their job. A document from the CIA was uncovered by Woodward and Bernstein of the Washington Post, and it says this: more than 400 American journalists that we know of have secretly carried out assignments for the Central Intelligence Agency, according to documents on file at CIA headquarters. In many instances, CIA documents show that journalists were contracted to perform covert missions for the CIA, with the consent of the managers of Americans' leading, quote, news organizations. Among the executives that we know of who lent their cooperation to the CIA were the heads of Time Magazine, Newsweek, the New York Times, ABC, NBC, CBS, the Associated Press, United Press International, and Reuters News Service. So that just about covers anybody and everybody. If you go down to the very end of the article, you'll see other references here, including many articles about how the CIA plants fake news stories, that science is actually political, that the CIA spends your tax dollars insulting people who actually uncover the truth. The U.S. government uses Wikipedia to defame people speaking the truth. NSA uses Wikipedia. The CIA lies to protect national security on Wikipedia, and so forth. So basically, the main reason for this story is about independent media. And how can you have an independent media when you have ABC, CBS, NBC, and Fox all receiving scripts from a central authority above them? Central Intelligence Agency. Something's going on. Now, our federal government, steps in, and if there's some product that claims to be healthy and in fact is bad for your health, they will take that off the market for misrepresentation. And I'm saying what needs to be done is anything or any entity claiming to be news has to be news. If it's propaganda, that is actually illegal according to federal law. Propaganda is not allowed, even though the CIA admitted they have 400 journalists that we know of in prominent positions. For example, Anderson Cooper, I think he's with CNN. He was trained by the CIA. It's an absolute fact. And he laughs it off, when you discover the truth. It's amazing. If you believe the truth, you're an idiot and a moron. And if you believe the lies, then you're a smart person. That's the upside down world that we live in. So the question is, how can we now have truly independent media? Well, back when Greece was around and a prominent leader in the world a couple of thousand years ago, they were alleged to be the creators of democracy. And they chose their representatives by lottery. There was no popular election based on political favors or who smiles the nicest or anything like that. It's the same way done today for a jury. A jury is selected by lottery, and they have the power of life and death sometimes over people. So what I suggest is that we choose news media reporters by lottery, and that news become a non-profit entity that is funded by the taxpayers. For example, at the end of your IRS tax income form, it says, check this box if you want $3 to go to the presidential campaign fund for alleged presidential candidates who are just too poor to run for president. Why not have a box, or just make it mandatory that a modest 1% of the $4 trillion federal budget, that would come to about $40 billion a year annually, and that may be more than is necessary, but that money be allocated and only be allowed by truly independent news. That you cannot own a corporation, own a business, and also claim to be owning news, because news is supposed to be independent. Now, I can tell you, one of the last times I watched television, I was watching this teenage couple make out, passionately kissing on the sofa. And this was about 10 years ago, and I noticed it was on ABC's Family Channel. And I thought, well, I guess it's family because they're straight, right? They're heterosexual, so I guess that makes it family. The fact is, if that same program had aired 50 years ago when Kennedy was president, the FBI would have been knocking on the network owner's door at midnight and hauling him off to jail. And so 50 years later, not only is it considered exceptional or acceptable, it's considered actually very much family, what would once have thrown you in jail for obscenity. The same is true of news. When I grew up watching news, if a reporter expressed their opinion toward one candidate over another, they would be fired. You were supposed to simply report the facts. And now that Reagan deregulated how many TV stations a newspaper an entity can own, I think it was like 2. Now you can own as many as you want. You can see there's this consolidation of public opinion claiming to be news. Again, If a product claims to be healthy and is proven that it's not, it is taken off the market for misrepresentation. And I believe that there are many entities masquerading as news that can be proven that they have a political agenda. So what I propose, the only way you can have independent media is to forbid corporations from owning anything calling it media. And before Reagan deregulation, networks and TV stations were required to dedicate so much time a week to public service announcements, meaning they had to use their resources, a small percentage, to serve the public. Why not require every TV station, network, news, whatever, 1 hour of 24 a day, and anything that can print things, hard copy or online, allow that resource, maybe one full publication a week, for reporters that are chosen at random and funded by the taxpayers. Now, Kennedy said the purpose of the press, which is a constitutionally protected industry, is simply to criticize the government. That's the point of it, and I agree, and that has long since ceased. So, that's all I have to say. Be sure to check out the detailed article about this in the description of this video. This has been Brother Bart's Conspiracy Corner News, episode 43. Are you prepared for eternity? Please tell your friends. Give me a thumbs up in the link down there. And I hope you have a great rest of the week. And thank you for your kind contributions. The moment, and we're going to talk about a past article briefly. You'll see this takes you to Conspiracy Corner and the latest videos. If we go down here, our latest articles. I'm sure you're all familiar with this one about my YouTube home channel or home page on YouTube. There's the donate button. This takes you to the Sleuth Journal Conspiracy Corner page. This takes you to buy an autographed DVD of A Funny Thing Happened on the Way to the Moon. This takes you to Sabrel.com, which has a bunch of other links, including these. And here's the Amazon link. If you want to contribute a small commission to anything you buy on Amazon, just come back and shop on Amazon through this link. And then once you get to it, you can copy and paste it to your browser and use for future use. Let's go here to the Sleuth Journal for focusing on the special preparation needed for the difficult times ahead. I'd like to point out, if you're watching this video here, how to access some of these buttons down here. Basically, on this video you're watching now, you would click down here on my name. This would take you to Greetings, friends and countrymen. Welcome to Conspiracy Corner News, episode 43. This is Bart Sabrel. Conspiracy Corner News briefly highlights the week's most significant and underreported news events throughout the world.